Hi everyone. This is a quick screencast to help you set up your WordPress blog and to show you some of the basic things that you might want to do on there. So to get started, I'm just going to go to wordpress.com. You'll see it up here in the URL bar. After that, I'm already logged in because I have an account. But if you don't have an account yet, you'll have to create one. And then you'll ask it to create a blog. It's going to ask you a few basic questions, and then it'll ask you to pick a design. Now, for a blog site for class, I would recommend probably a list of posts, that particular one, and then I'm just going to choose a relatively simple theme, something that's going to be easy to deal with. I'm going to choose this Hemingway theme. Doesn't really matter which one. And then you're going to be asked to pick a domain. So what I would suggest is that you use your name. If you're not comfortable with that, you can also use a creative blog title, something that relates to your ideas of teaching. But just for the sake of simplicity here, I'm just going to make a new blog with a random name. So we'll make a blog for Jane Smith. And we're going to put a big old number because I assume there's already one of those. So I can get janesmith698.wordpress.com. I'm going to select that because I don't need to pay for anything. Again, I'm going to select the free blog. And now I can get started with my site. So you'll see that it will take me directly to my site, but there's not a whole lot there. So the most important thing is knowing how to get into the back end of the blog where you can edit. In order to do that, I'm going to need to throw the words wp-admin on the end of my blog site address. That's going to take me to the back end or dashboard of my blog. If you are not logged in, it'll ask you to log in here, and then you can go over to this site, and it'll bring you here. So on my dashboard, there are a number of things I can do. So just to get us started, I'm going to head over to Appearance, and I'm going to pick a theme. So it doesn't really matter what theme you picked at the beginning because you can change it really easily. Now you'll see I have a lot of different options. I'm just going to go with something really simple for right now. So some of the ones that are really easy to use are often the themes called 2011, 2012. So you'll see I can search for themes. So I'm just going to put 2011 and then see what that gets me. So you'll see 2011 is a pretty simple theme. I can actually change that top picture, but it really is going to give me a bit of a sidebar, and then it's going to give me my posts. So I'm going to activate this theme. You're free to go through and find one that works for you, and you can change the theme at any time, and it won't affect the content on there. So you can play around. It's not the end of the world if you choose one and don't end up liking it. So once I've got my theme activated, I'm going to want to customize it a little bit. So I probably want to put a title on here because right now I don't have one. Now, if you recall, this is a Jane Smith's blog, so we'll probably call it that. So I'm going to go to Site Identity. We're going to put our title in, Ms. Jane Smith. So this you can change whenever you want. The URL is a lot more permanent, the address that is, but this you can change. Maybe I'll put a new teacher in here. So you can just have a little a tagline. Make sure you don't leave the original one that WordPress puts on by default, because that just looks like you didn't remember to change it. So I'm going to remember always to save and publish. Then I'm going to head back. I can play around with my colors if I'd like, so maybe I'll change it to this. Doesn't really matter. Again, always saving and publishing. My layout I can change, my fonts, header image, so again, that's how I would change the picture at the top, my menu, widgets, all of that. But really what I need to do right now is to put that, that title in to make sure that that's customized. So done that, I'm gonna get out of here. So the other thing I'm going to need to do is to be able to write a post. So you'll notice that I have the option of writing either a post or a page. It's really important that I am writing posts when I'm blogging for class, because pages serve a different function, which we can talk about later. So I'm going to say add new post. And so this is what you'll do every time you blog for class. So you're going to start with a title. So it might be, you know, a title for your assignment, your reflection, but generally make sure there's something interesting in there, not just assignment number 1, because nobody really wants to read that, and it's not going to help it stand out very much. So I've put a title in, let's say, you know, I'll call it Enter Creative Title here. Yours will be better, obviously. So I'm going to write my post. Here is my post. Then I might want to add links to something. So let's say I'm adding a link to an article that I read, or even a book that I read. So for instance, one of the books that we might read, or that we will read in class, is something called Is Everyone Really Equal? And that book is right here. And so if I'm mentioning this book in my blog post, I'm going to actually want to just link to it. And it's fine if the whole text isn't there. You're not going to be able to find that for everything. Obviously, if it's an article, you could probably link to it. But I'm just going to grab this Google Books result. And let's say I'll go back to it. I copied it there. So in the book, Is Everyone Really Equal? Blah, blah, blah. What's really nice about blogging is I don't need to put an APA citation. All I need to do is show you it's from there by highlighting it and hitting this little chain link, pasting that thing that I grabbed earlier, and voila, we have a link. The other thing you might need to do is to refer to someone else's post in class. Maybe you want to talk about what someone else was writing and you'd like to link directly back to their post. So I'm just going to go over to my blog because I have posts on there that I can share. So let's say I would like to link to this most recent blog post. So what I need to remember is I always want to go directly to the blog post. This address will take me to the home page, but this may not be the top blog post because I might have blogged again. So I'm going to always click on the title if I want to link to a blog post. Now I have that URL. I'm going to, again, copy it. And maybe, you know, I'll start writing a sentence here. In her post about catfishing. And again, don't need to put my APA citation. I'm just going to highlight the words in her post about catfishing. I'm going to say insert and edit link. I'm going to, again, throw that in there. And again, I have a post. I have a link to that post in my blog post. So again, if you're talking about someone else's blog post, it's nice to link to that. They'll also get a notification that you're talking about them so that they can read your blog post. So that's really the main thing that you're going to need to do. You may want to add pictures at some point to some assignments. In order to add a picture, you just click on Add Media. And once you do that, you can drop a file anywhere from your computer and just insert it into your post. So that's pretty easy to do. So, you know, for instance, if I wanted to use, say, this Treaty Ed Camp poster, this is my free plug for Treaty Ed Camp. Let's say I want to use that. I want to insert it into the post. I just dragged it off of my desktop, inserted it, and there it is. It pops up. The only other thing I might need to do is maybe for one of my assignments, I've created a video. If you are, if you want to embed a YouTube video, all you really need to do is head over to YouTube and just grab something. I've been listening to some Bach cello. I'm gonna mute it because I don't really want to hear it right now, but I just grab the link and I pop it in here, and you'll notice the video embeds right there. So if you are trying to refer to a YouTube video, or if you're just inserting yours because you're handing it in as an assignment on here, that's a really easy way to do that. So all I need to do now is I can just publish the post, but there's one more thing that I might want to do. So in order to kind of organize my posts, I may want to think about categorizing them. So categorizing is kind of just like a way of filing my posts. So what I might do, since this is for ECS 110, is if I go down the side, I can see add new category. So I'm going to add the category ECS 110. I'm going to hit enter. So now I have a little check mark there. Now it's categorized like that. And I'll show you why that's important in just a minute. So I'm going to hit publish. It's going to take its time. And then my post is now published. I'm going to hit view post. And of course, when I make a video about it, it takes extra long. All right, so there it is. You'll see I've got my my post with my links, my creative title, my picture, my video. And so you'll see this says that it was posted in ECS 110. So what I am going to do is every time I blog for this class, I'm going to want to categorize it with that particular category. And that's useful because that means that I can give someone the link just to those particular posts. So if I don't want to give someone the link to everything, if I just want to give them the link to my post for ECS 110, then I can give them that specific link. So you can see, for instance, if I go into my categories under posts, and then I click on it, so you can see I can even change the title if I really wanted to. And what I can do is when I go back into my post, I can, I'm going to actually have to go look at it in person. When I click on this thing here, when I click on the ECS 110 right here, what will happen is it's going to take me to the category archive for ECS 110. So you'll see right here, this is the URL I would give to someone if I only wanted to give them the post for this class. So if you decide you're going to make a category for ECS 110, when I ask you to hand in your blog address, you would give me that address with the category. So those are really the basic things that you need to be able to do. I have some other videos if you're interested in learning more about blogging and learning how to customize different things on your blog. But these are the basics, hopefully enough to get you started. And I hope that that was helpful.